Hey everybody, AJ Rattel here, Director of New Hampshire Paranormal Investigators. Welcome to this week's edition of Got Ghost. Got a busy show, great show for you this week. So let's hop right into things here. I want to start with our Sleepy Hollow investigation, our live investigation, Halloween, which is Wednesday. So by the time you watch this, we'll have already gone to and come back from Sleepy Hollow. We're really excited about it. We're going to be investigating the Old Dutch Church and Burial Ground as well as Patriots Park out in Sleepy Hollow. That'll be Wednesday night, and actually you can follow the investigation live on our Facebook page beginning at about 6:45. So if you haven't checked out our page on Facebook, you'll definitely want to Wednesday night. That'll be at, like I said, at 6:45. It's facebook.com/nhparanormal. We'll be posting live updates and findings and information and whatnot from the investigation. It's our biggest case to date, our biggest investigation, investigating two locations simultaneously. As I said, the Dutch Burial Ground and the Old Dutch Church and Patriots Park, both rumored to be just buzzing with paranormal activity. So hopefully we can get some good evidence and find out what's really going on out there. So yeah, that's that. So like I said, by the time you watch this, we'll have already gone and come back from Sleepy Hollow. But definitely be sure to check out the live investigation excuse me, on our Facebook page. That's tonight at 6:45, facebook.com/nhparanormal. Okay, last week we talked about our upcoming Snowflake Ball, our charity event that we're going to be hosting December 14th at the Westin Copley Hotel in Boston. That's December 14th. It's going to be a benefit for Toys for Tots. Rather than charging any kind of admission, admission is going to be one new unwrapped toy. Just donate a new unwrapped toy to get in. Wanted to let you guys know that the registration for that opens tomorrow. That's November 1st. Not tomorrow, but November 1st. And you can do that either by emailing us at nhparanormal1@gmail.com, or you can drop us a line on Facebook. Limited number of spots, so if you want to go, I would definitely suggest registering soon before the spots fill up too quickly. So the registration starts again on November 1st and will end on December 1st, so you've got a month. It is a formal event, obviously, being a ball. That's at the Westin Copley Hotel in Boston on December 14th, all to benefit Toys for Tots. So it's a great cause, and should be a great night of dinner and dancing and some great fun, and all to benefit a great cause. So definitely worth checking out. So if you're interested, again, registration starts November 1st, ends December 1st. And you can again do that via email, nhparanormal1@gmail.com, or drop us a line on Facebook at facebook.com/nhparanormal. A little bit of sad news to the NHPI family. Tuesday afternoon, our assistant director, Aurora, received a very disturbing phone call. Her youngest brother, Gabriel, who has been serving in the U.S. Army and has been stationed in both Afghanistan and Iraq, and was most recently stationed in Italy awaiting his flight home, lost his life yesterday in a helicopter crash. So, like I said, he was due to be home in just a couple of short weeks. He was due to be home before Thanksgiving. So obviously a terrible loss there. So please keep Aurora and her family in your prayers and thoughts. We'd really appreciate that. So we're going into our Sleepy Hollow investigation with heavy hearts, and again, please, we ask for your thoughts and prayers for Aurora and her entire family as they try to get through this very difficult time. So on to a little bit happier note. Coming up on November 30th, Aurora will actually be on WKXL here in Concord. It's a AM talk news station. She's going to be on there the morning of November 30th. You can surf on over to KXL.com if you don't live in the area, and you can listen to it live streaming on the web. That's going to be at 8 a.m. on November 30th, so be sure not to miss that. That will be our actually our second appearance on the radio. So she's really excited for it. So that's November 30th, 8 a.m. KXL. If you do live in the area, it's 1450 a.m. And if you don't, like I said, they have a live streaming feed from their website at KXL.com. And then not too long after that, we're going to be making our first public appearance at the Concord City Auditorium. That's December 2nd. Yeah, I have the time here. December 2nd, 7 p.m. Sorry. December 2nd, 7 p.m., Concord City Auditorium. No admission, nothing like that, just donations. So they do have, fairly soon, we'll have tickets available at the auditorium box office. Again, no cost, just an optional donation. And so that should be a great time. Really get a chance to talk to our fans, our supporters, and we're just gonna we've got a presentation that we're working on that we're gonna give, and then open it up to a question and answer session. So kind of give our supporters and the public a better understanding of what we do and what we're all about. So that again is December 2nd, 7 p.m. Concord City Auditorium. All this information, by the way, available on our website, nhparanormal.zxq.net, and click on the events page. Okay, so now on to the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the show. Last week we put a question out there asking you why do you think people are hesitant to seek help when they're experiencing paranormal activity in their home or business? And I had said that for me anyways, it seems that it's either A, because of skepticism, or they're afraid of being ridiculed. Those seem to be the two main reasons. Another, I wouldn't call it a lesser one, but a third one would be they're afraid that if they have an investigative team come in, that it's going to stir up the activity, it's going to make it worse. So we put the question out on our Facebook, and again this week, great feedback, plenty of feedback, and quality feedback too. So thank you all very much who responded to the question, and that pretty much seems to be the consensus opinion, that people do it. People are hesitant to seek help because of A, fear of ridicule, and B, skepticism. Not too many people brought up the fear of making it worse. But I have had that question posed to me by clients, actually. You know, well, if you come in and do an investigation, is it going to make the spirits or entities angry? Is it going to make it worse? And I won't sit here and lie to you and tell you that it never happens, because it does. Hasn't happened to me personally, but I've heard other teams have had that experience, and I've read of plenty of occurrences of that happening. So fear of ridicule, from their peers. I mean, I suppose it would sound pretty ridiculous to most people if you were to tell your friends, oh yeah, I'm having a paranormal investigation team come into the house. They're afraid of being ridiculed by peers, co-workers, most likely, that sort of thing. And because they certainly wouldn't be ridiculed by the team they're contacting. And skepticism, I've seen it plenty of times, and heard about plenty more occurrences where they just think, they don't believe in what's happening. They don't believe in ghosts or the afterlife or anything paranormal, and as a result of that, they think, oh well, if I ignore it, it'll just go away. When obviously the truth is, guess what? It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away unless you do something about it. And I guess if it's something that's not harmful or not dangerous, then sure, maybe there's no need to hit the panic button and call in a team. But regardless, I mean, to me, and again, I've had plenty of experiences with the paranormal, and with the team, but to me, I would rather find out what's going on. And who knows? There's always the chance that it may not even be something paranormal. It may be something that's easily explained away. So, why not get in contact with somebody? And unfortunately, there are a lot of unscrupulous teams out there who would, but if you can find a professional, respectable team, then why not find out what's going on in your house? Why just sit in silence and let this stuff happen to your home? I mean, I always tell people, you shouldn't be afraid to be in your own home. We had a case recently where the family was, I mean, it was vicious. It was just flat out evil. Physically harming this family, and they didn't know where else to turn. They had tried everything. They tried to get rid of it on their own, and eventually it came down to us having to perform a cleansing to get rid of it. And luckily, the cleansing worked, and they haven't had any problems since. But why live in your home when you're there's noises in the middle of the night and banging, and I mean, it obviously depends on what the specific activity is, but you've got noises and footsteps and doors slamming and objects being moved around and whatever else, because unfortunately a lot of times it can start out seeming like it's harmless. It can start out seeming almost playful, and in a lot of cases that's, well, there are plenty of cases where it stays that way, where it's more mischievous and playful than anything. But there are also a lot of cases where it starts out that way because whatever the entity may be is trying to earn your trust. Trying to earn your trust that, oh, it's nothing to worry about. And then that's when it turns malicious. So, sure, I understand people being afraid of being ridiculed, or I understand people being skeptical. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, but if something where, something's happening in your home, and why not at least find out what it is? Even if you're skeptical, why not at least find out what it is? Like I said, who knows? There's always a chance that it may not even be something paranormal. It may be something that can be explained. There may be a logical explanation for it. An old house, pipes, floors creaking, walls creaking, a house settling, whatever. I mean, there's tons of logical explanations for paranormal activity, but why not at least find out what it is? then at least you have peace of mind. You know, you have a team come in and they conduct an investigation and they are able to debunk what's going on. Although rare is the case where every single claim is debunked, but I mean, you know, why not have a team come in, have them do an investigation, and then if they're able to debunk certain things, then at least you know. But I guess that's easy for me to say, because having experienced the paranormal on multiple occasions myself, and having, you know, and being an investigator myself, I guess it's easy for me to sit here and but again, some great feedback, and just overwhelmed by the amount of feedback we got on the question, which is really great to see. It's really great to see, you know, to see people having a conversation, a discussion about these topics. So thank you again, all of you, to responding to the question. And that leads us into our question for this week. Gonna kind of stay with the theme of you guys, our clients, our supporters, and our colleagues. Gonna kind of stay on the client's public side on the public's side of the field. Obviously, within the last, you know, for the last decade or so, paranormal TV has really caught on. Obviously, everybody knows ghost hunters, but there have been, you know, there's plenty of other ones now, and there seem to be more and more. I mean, it really kind of started with ghost hunters, and then there was, you know, there's Ghost Adventures and Paranormal State and Paranormal Witness, even though that's a bit more, Paranormal Witness is a bit more dramatized. It's not an actual investigation like Ghost Hunters or something like that. But the paranormal TV shows have really caught on, which has led to a spike in the interest of people wanting to go out and do this stuff themselves, and which a lot of cases people get out there and they realize, wow, this is nothing like what I'm watching, what I see on TV, because it really isn't. But what I'm getting at here is, is the increased popularity of these paranormal TV shows, is it good or bad for the field? Does it have a positive? Does their popularity have a positive impact on what we do, or does it have a negative impact? To me, it's a little bit of both. Sure, they're popular, especially ghost hunters, and it's really generated a lot of interest and made the field a bit more mainstream, made it accessible, I guess, to a lot more people than it was before. You know, because prior to the TV shows, the paranormal investigators kind of worked in the shadows, so to speak. You know, sure, I mean, people knew that there were paranormal investigators and there were teams out there, but stuff like Ghost Hunters and Paranormal Witness and those shows have really kind of drawn us out of the shadows, I guess, and more into the mainstream and more into the public eye. And I've been thinking, you know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Were we better off when we were working in the shadows and kind of, you know, kept within our own little circle, or is it better this way? Is it better that we're that you know, these shows have kind of thrust us into the limelight a bit? To me, it's a little bit of both. On one hand, it's a good thing because it's helped raise public awareness about the paranormal, and on the other hand, to me, it's a bad thing because people get these crazy ideas that they think that what they see on Ghost Hunters, what they see TAPS doing, is what we do. That's what real ghost hunting is like, and that's just simply not the case. I mean, they've got a budget, and, you know, this huge production budget and all this equipment that, you know, and they have cameras that wired all over the location they're investigating, and it doesn't work that way. Not even close. I I mean, sure, we use some of the same equipment, but you know, we don't have this network of cameras, you know, that we can wire, and remote cameras that we hook up all over the place. And to a certain extent, especially Ghost Hunters, it's a bit dramatized. It's what I like to call made for TV. It's and please don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting Tabs and what they do. They do great work, and they help a lot of people. But it's a bit dramatized. It's made for TV. That's just the simple reality. It's made for TV. Because quite honestly, if you were to watch one of our investigations on TV, you would probably be bored. I'm not criticizing Tabs. I'm not saying that they fabricate evidence, even though I know there was a huge controversy about that. But if you watched what we do on TV, one of our investigations, you'd probably be bored to death. No pun intended. You probably would. I mean, I'm not saying what we do is boring. To us, it's not boring. To us, it's exciting, and you get a little amped up when you're on an investigation. You're excited. You've got adrenaline coursing through your veins. To us, it's exciting, and sure, we have a little bit of fun with it along the way. But to the general public, I think people would be bored, to be honest. I really do. I think people would, because there's not something happening every 5 seconds. There's not, I don't know, it's hard to explain, because I listening to myself, it sounds like what I'm doing is saying that Tabs and that Ghost Hunters is fake, and it's not, but it's enhanced, I guess would be a better word. It's enhanced a bit. It's dramatized. What we do is not. It's the real deal. It's just us and our equipment. No production crew. No cameras. Following us around. Just us and our equipment. And I think people would probably find that a bit boring, to be honest. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not boring, but certainly not made for TV. And based on the response we've gotten for our appearances that we have coming up, people are interested to find out what we really do, what it's really like out there. But definitely not made for TV. So again, the question to all of you, which will be on our Facebook, is the popularity of paranormal TV shows, your Ghost Hunters, your Paranormal Witness, your Paranormal State, well, I guess we can leave Paranormal Witness out of there, because that's really made for TV, really dramatized. I mean, based on true stories, but really, so, I mean, your Ghost Hunters, your Paranormal State, your Ghost Adventures, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, the My Ghost Story that I've seen, I mean, there's a lot of them. So, is the popularity of those shows, is it good or bad for the field? So that question will again be up on our Facebook. Feel free to respond. That is pretty much going to put the wraps on this week's edition of Got Ghost. Like I said at the beginning, by the time you watch this, we'll have already gone and come back from Sleepy Hollow. So a happy belated Halloween to all of you. Have fun. Stay safe. If you're on a team that's doing an investigation on Halloween, definitely stay safe. If you're going out trick-or-treating, stay safe, but have fun. I mean, because that's really what it's, And, please don't lose sight of the roots, the real reason the real roots behind Halloween. I think a lot of people, it's been lost. There's a really good article on Google about the true story, the real story behind Halloween. Definitely worth looking up. So yeah, that is going to do it for this week's edition of Got Ghosts. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm AJ Rattel, Director of NHPI. again, tonight, 6:45, our live investigation from Sleepy Hollow on our Facebook page, facebook.com/AnyParanormal. Don't miss it. And we'll see y'all next week. Happy Halloween, everybody.